Welcome to Alignment Part 2. If you haven't watched Alignment Part 1, I'll put a link to that video somewhere up there. Make sure you watch that before you watch this video so that you can get your foundation. But for now, we're going to start with a review of the foundation. So we're standing feet hip width distance apart. Our feet are parallel. And we're going to lift the arches of the feet, having an active foot posture. We're going to keep the knees nice and soft. The pelvis is in a neutral position, which lightly engages the lower abdominal muscles. So that's our little review of the foundational checklist. So now we start just in that same position with the core lightly engaged, feeling what that feels like, and begin to notice if you bring your pelvis in and out of a neutral position, what happens to the position of your rib cage? Maybe it comes forward when the pelvis tilts forward and then comes back. You can see better from this side angle. So if I tilt my pelvis forward, the rib cage almost juts forward. And then in a neutral position, it's back here. The first thing on our checklist for upper body alignment is going to be having the diaphragm come over the pelvic bowl. So this happens naturally with neutral pelvis, and it's all about the spine. We don't have to do any sort of manipulation of the rib cage itself. We just want to make sure that there's a straight line from the pelvic bowl to the diaphragm. And if you don't know, the pelvic bowl is that area between your sit bones, and it has this little dome shape like this. And then the diaphragm is this respiratory muscle that goes all the way around your entire rib cage to your spine, and it's a dome like this. So we want them to be nice and aligned over each other as best we can. So the next thing on the alignment checklist for the upper body are the shoulders. We want the shoulders to be relaxed in a comfortable position, not up by our ears and not folding forward or jutting too far back, just in a nice, comfortable position. And we'll come back to this and explore some postures that really open up the shoulders. The last thing on the checklist for the upper body is the head and the neck. This one can be pretty tricky sometimes, but we just want to feel this nice, loose flexibility throughout the cervical spine, all the way to the crown of the head, just feeling like our head and neck are floating on top of our body. And again, we'll explore some movements that help facilitate this feeling. So starting in our intentional posture, foundational checklist is online. We're going to actually do a standing cat-cow pose. So bring a little bit more of a bend into the knee, and then bring your arms up where your elbows are in line with your shoulders. So you can bring the hands together here, I'll turn to the side, or you can just keep them nice and parallel. But we're going to start by bringing the arms together and folding inward, like in our cat position. And then we're going to inhale, tilting the pelvis forward, bringing the arms back, the shoulder blades close together and the gaze up. And exhale, folding back inward to cat. Inhale, expanding, bringing those shoulder blades really close together. And then exhale, folding in. I'm going to do a couple more of these. And while you do it at your own pace, just try to notice what it feels like, the sensations in your shoulders when they come forward versus when they are expanded. Feel the connection between the pelvic floor and the diaphragm in that midway point between these poses. Inhale. Last time, exhaling into cat. And inhale. Straighten the knees and come back into your intentional standing posture. And just notice for a moment the effects of that pose. A great one to warm up the shoulders and give that good sensation of relaxed downness, like your arms could just swing down here. Now let's take a look at the head and neck. So the first thing we're going to do is take the left hand and put it on the left shoulder. And then just bring your right ear gently towards your right shoulder. Take a couple deep breaths here, allowing gravity to bring your ear a little bit closer to your shoulder. Maybe look down toward the shoulder, and then look up toward the ceiling. And come back to a neutral position. And then inhale, bring your head to center. Take your right hand to your right shoulder, and let the left ear fall toward the left shoulder. Not pulling too much on the right shoulder with the right hand, just allowing gravity to do this. Again, looking down toward the shoulder and looking up toward the ceiling, feeling that nice stretch in the side of the neck. And inhale to head back to center. So that's a great movement of the cervical spine. Now we're going to try another one. I want you to just make a figure 8 in front of your face with your nose. So make it as big as you can, going from your shoulder all the way up to the ceiling, just using your neck. Make sure to keep the pelvis at neutral. Sometimes the whole spine likes to get involved, but just these big sweeping motions. And now start to make your figure 8 smaller. Very small, just drawing with your nose in front of your face until it's really tiny and you're barely moving your head. And then find a place of stillness. And in the stillness, imagine that you're still making that tiny figure 8. For me, this is a great way to find that sensation of light floatiness in the neck and the head. So let's review from all the way from the bottom to the top. So we come into a habitual standing posture, maybe weight to one side, maybe feet pretty wide apart, just something you would normally do, or maybe even a singing posture, what that might look like for you. And let's bring the feet underneath the hips, parallel to one another. Lift the arches, engage the feet. Allow the knees to be soft. Have the pelvis in a nice neutral position and lightly engaging the core and bringing that diaphragm over the pelvic bowl. And then allow the shoulders to be down and relaxed, and the neck and head to just float there. So this is our full body alignment checklist. I encourage you to use this intentional alignment throughout the day and in your singing. Just take note throughout the day what kinds of things your body tends to do habitually and make things a little more intentional. I hope this was helpful for you, and I will see you in the next video.